Hey Bears News Fan Report Squad, gather round because I've got a whisper circling through Halah's hall that could shake the very foundations of this defense, and I'm betting you'll want to strap in for this one. But before we dive headfirst into the speculation, do me a favor and smash that like button and subscribe to Bears News Fan Report so you never miss a single beat of the drama unfolding here in Chicago. Now, picture this, our defensive coordinator. The mastermind himself, a coach whose very presence sends shivers through opposing quarterbacks. He's been quietly eyeing a reunion with a familiar face, a player who once thrived under his tutelage and helped reshape an entire defensive identity. Could it be that Chicago's brass is ready to pull the trigger and bring back a warrior forged in the fires of adversity? Can you imagine the kind of seismic impact that reunion might have on our pass rush, on our locker room, on the very soul of this franchise? Let me set the stage. Back when the Saints were marching toward playoff glory, there was an undrafted giant out of Villanova who paddled in the deep end of one of the NFL's most fearsome front sevens. Week after week, he stepped onto the field in Dennis Allen's defense, absorbing lessons in discipline and tenacity, then turned those lessons into bone-crushing plays against unsuspecting quarterbacks. Imagine that level of chemistry being reignited here, right on Lake Michigan's shores. Yet this player isn't just another rental. He's 30 years old now, still in his prime for a defensive lineman, and carries with him a resume that whispers of potential rather than guaranteed superstardom. Over 3 seasons, he accumulated a respectable 9.5 sacks without ever playing more than 43% of his team's defensive snaps, laying a foundation that screams underrated gem. He never flashed like a highlight reel superstar on every down, but when the moment demanded a jolt of energy, he delivered. Could it mean that we're on the cusp of unlocking an X-factor for our edge rotation? Here's where the mystery deepens. Sources tell me that some inside Hollis Hall believe this move could be a low-risk, high-reward gambit. Plug him into our rotation behind Montez Sweat and watch him feast on scraps of time, then blossom into a dependable disruptor come playoff time. Is it possible that this player's versatility, shuttling between defensive end and tackle, could provide exactly the depth we've desperately needed since surrendering a league-high 68 sacks last season? After all, consistency and flexibility are the cornerstones of any elite front line. And let's not overlook the emotional undercurrent of this story. Imagine our defensive line room echoing with tales of shared victories and shared struggles, veterans rallying behind a familiar face, rookies looking to him for guidance. Some insiders believe that his leadership in the film room is just as valuable as his power at the point of attack. Could that mentorship be the spark that finally ignites a defensive renaissance in Chicago? Could it transform this unit from a collection of parts into a cohesive, relentless force? Still, questions linger. What about the financials? What's the price tag attached to resurrecting this partnership? And how will it impact our ability to chase other free agents or bolster the offensive line around Caleb Williams? Could pulling the trigger on this reunion jeopardize our cap flexibility, or will it prove to be the masterstroke that unites this defense under one commanding presence? We're just scratching the surface here, and believe me, the rest of this saga is loaded with plot twists that you won't see coming. In our next installment, we'll finally name the player at the heart of this whirlwind, dive into the potential contract details, and weigh every angle of this high-stakes reunion. So stay tuned, because this is one cliffhanger you absolutely cannot miss. If you're as fired up as I am, hit that like button and subscribe to Bears News Fan Report right now. Let's keep this energy rolling. All right, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The edge rusher at the center of this whirlwind isn't some mystery prospect, but none other than Tano Capasan. Yes, the same former second-round pick out of Villanova who spent the last few seasons wreaking havoc on opposing tackles in Dennis Allen's defense down in New Orleans. Imagine that reunion, Capasan, now 30, stepping onto Soldier Field turf with the hunger of a player determined to prove his worth. Let's break down why this could be one of the shrewdest free agent moves in recent memory. First off, Capasan racked up 9.5 sacks over 3 seasons without ever seeing more than 43% of his team's defensive snaps. Those numbers might not leap off the page like a 15-sack season, but they represent an unrealized floor, especially when you consider how little consistent playing time he received. Plug him in behind Montez Sweat and Dio Ode-Ingbo, and you instantly bolster your rotational pass rush with a player who knows your coordinator system inside and out. Now, let's talk scheme fit. Under Dennis Allen, Capasan was a plug-and-play rotational end who thrived in situational football. He'd line up at defensive end on obvious passing downs, slip inside on sub-packages, and zero in on the quarterback with single-minded intensity, often flat-footing blockers and collapsing pockets in short order. Could that precise skill set be the missing variable to turn Chicago's edge room from mediocre to menacing? I'd argue it's more than possible. It's practically inevitable if Poles pulls this off. Of course, there are financial considerations. Reports suggest Capasan would command a modest one-year deal in the neighborhood of $5 to $7 million, money that could look like bargain bin brilliance if he delivers even half of his Saints flashes in uniform today. And here's the kicker. The Bears still have plenty of cap space to chase bigger fish, meaning this move wouldn't hamstring them when it comes to addressing other needs, say, adding depth at cornerback or bolstering the offensive line around Caleb Williams. Could this be the blueprint for building a championship-caliber defense on a budget? The math suggests it might be. But let's go deeper. Remember, Capasan played under Allen for 3 years, absorbing the nuances of his defensive playbook, and forging a rapport that can't be replicated overnight. His presence in the film room could accelerate the development of promising youngsters like Daniel Hardy and Austin Booker, boys who have flashed tantalizing athletic upside but need veteran guidance to refine their craft. Some insiders believe that Capasan's mentorship alone might unlock a step function leap in the performance of our second and third string ends. Could this be how Chicago transforms its defensive front seven from a revolving door of underachievement into a cohesive, disciplined unit? It sure looks like it. On the field, the ripple effects could be seismic. Picture Capasan slanting inside on third down, forcing quarterbacks to climb the pocket, only to run face-first into the bull rush of Montez Sweat on the opposite side. Or imagine him shooting through gaps on stunts, chasing mobile signal callers into the arms of our linebacking core. Is it possible that adding legit quality at that spot could lead to double-digit sack seasons from multiple Bears edge players for the first time since Khalil Mack's heyday? The potential is there, and the excitement is tangible. Still, risk remains. Will Capasan's body hold up under a heavier workload in the NFL's trenches? Can he translate his situational success into every-down reliability? And has the delay in his playing time down in New Orleans left any rust on his motor? Only game tape from training camp and the preseason will answer those questions. But if history is any guide, players reunited with coaches who believe in them often thrive. Just look at how Allen's system elevated several Saints defenders into household names. Could Capasan be the next success story? I, for one, wouldn't bet against it. So, there you have it. The full picture on why targeting Tano Capasan could be the ace up Chicago's sleeve in 2025. A low-risk financial commitment, a perfect, schematic fit, and the promise of veteran leadership. This isn't just another free agent signing. It's a calculated gambit designed to transform a front line in desperate need of identity into a fearsome force to be reckoned with. What do you think, Bears faithful? Are you ready to welcome Capasan back into Dennis Allen's fold and watch him thrive in navy and orange? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'm dying to know how you feel about this blockbuster reunion. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell on Bears News. Fan Report. Until next time, keep the faith and go Bears.